Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Today I want to talk about a film called Alive, or hashtag Alive. Now this will be, I guess, a review as well as a critique. Not so much on the film itself actually, but more on the fact that this should have been and could easily be Train to Busan 2, which sadly we didn't get, and we just had Peninsula, which I've done a review on. I'll leave it linked above. It's not very good. Whereas Alive, I actually really enjoyed this. Now, it's a little bit tongue-in-cheek in parts, and it's not absolutely incredible by any stretch of the imagination, but it's pretty damn good. And I really quite enjoyed it. And there's a deeper message there as well. Now, hashtag Alive is a South Korean film. Okay, so same as Train to Busan, which is a South Korean film. Now, Alive is directed by Cho Il Hyung, starring Yoo Ah-in and Park Shin-hye. I believe that's how you say it, which was actually based on a script which was written in 2019 called Alone by Matt Naylor. Train to Busan, just again to kind of cover all bases, is actually directed by Yeon Sang-ho. So completely different, not even remotely the same. Okay, now in terms of Alive as a review and as a movie, I'll give you the brief overview. So we're introduced to this character, Jun Woo, I believe the character's name is, and he lives in an apartment block. He lives with his parents, and he's basically just a video game live streamer. Now don't worry, because that's not, okay, that is not an integral part of the story. But there is a wider discussion at play with respect to social media, because obviously it is called hashtag Alive. But it's not lecturing, there's no agenda, there's no ham-fisting. It's just a nice message, and it works very well. So anyway, Jun Woo, the video game live streamer, is waking up, he's going about his business, and his family's out. They are going to go get some food, right? Getting some food for the apartment, and he hears some news reports about a massively, incredibly quick spreading disease. Okay, it causes the victims to attack and obviously cannibalize uninfected people. So it's very much the trope of a zombie film. Now, just that right there easily could have been worked into the Train to Busan movie. It easily could have been the Train to Busan universe. And they've really missed something. Obviously, they wanted to stand on their own feet. I get that. But this could have done incredibly well if it was attached to that, because not only does it have the tonality correct, which Peninsula didn't, but it also has just a nicer message. It's just a nicer film. And it could have worked very, very well. And the fact that it has a nice steady, it knows what the tone is. It's very steady on that fact, and the pacing's very good. It really, if you watch it directly after Train to Busan, which I've done, because I did that in prep for this review, it marries up really, really well. Now, it's not just that, okay, because obviously this is just like fan fiction, but as a review itself and as the similarities, you'll start to see the zombies move at a very similar pace. The zombies look the same as well. The acting and the choreography of the zombies is very, very similar to Train to Busan. Train to Busan had quite unique zombies. I think that they were quite unique anyway. So it is a unique take on the zombie genre in that regard, and I guess Alive copied that. But I wouldn't say that that's anything bad, because again, it's a better Train to Busan 2 than Train to Busan 2. Now, Jun Woo hears all of this news reports and things like that, and he goes outside and he starts seeing people going absolutely crazy. People are fleeing, they're running, they're attacking one another, they're eating one another. It's mayhem, it's absolute mayhem, it's carnage. And then he locks himself in. So he locks himself in his apartment. And obviously, because his parents have gone out to go get food, he has no food. And he has rations, he's got to ration himself. And there's no service, things go down, there's no internet, so he can't stream. And it's basically this survival film of him trying to survive this zombie apocalypse. And I don't want to get into spoilers too much, but obviously he sees someone else that's there across the apartment block from him, which is Yu Bin, another survivor. She beams a laser on him when he's reached his absolute bitter end and he goes to kill himself. Okay, and then from there, obviously, they start to talk about things and they start to fledge a fledgling idea of getting out of this situation. And yeah, and then basically it rounds out with a nice sort of ending. I'm not going to get too much into it, but the ending encapsulates the film on a whole. So it's a very, very good ending. I can highly recommend this film. The zombie choreography was good. It's set in a very, very small location, and it lends itself very well being quite low-key. Train to Busan was very good because it was set on a train. With zombies running around and things like that, all sensory, they rely on their senses rather than their eyes. Obviously, eyesight is a sense, but you get my point. Having a claustrophobic environment is perfect for zombie films, and that's why Train to Busan was so good. That's why Peninsula falls apart, because it's just set in a massive city as well as drift kids left, right, and centre. But Alive works very, very well. It's a great film. The soundtrack is pretty good. The acting, for the most part, is pretty good. It's difficult when you watch it from a Western perspective to see whether the actors portraying John Woo and Yu Bin, if they're actually acting very good, very well for the demographic that they're aimed at. Because obviously, looking at it from a Western perspective, we don't get the inflection behind their words and things like that. John Woo is a bit of a dumb character in parts, but it's supposed to be that way. So I really liked this film. I think the soundtrack was very good. I think the cinematography was really good. The choreography was good, as well as the blood and gore effects. I think it's a very, very good film. Again, I'm not going to say rush out to go and watch it, but for a film which has landed itself on Netflix, it deserves more. It deserves more viewing. It's a good film. And here's what brings me on to the main topic, I guess, or at least the sideline topic of this outside of the review, is that this definitely should have been in the Train to Busan universe. They absolutely missed the trick. Good God, did they ever. What a shame. What a shame. Because Peninsula was absolute garbage. I really did not like Peninsula. It was like Fast and Furious with zombies. I hated it so much. Whereas this is a touching film. Like, it's a good film. They really should... whether they could work this into that universe or not, or whatever, it doesn't matter. But this is a better Train to Busan sequel than the sequel to Train to Busan. And that's when ultimately you have absolutely failed. So I really like this film. I can recommend it. Again, it's on Netflix, so you really should just go and watch it. It's a decent film. It's a little bit... The pacing is a little bit off in parts here and there, but it gets to the point. There is a point to it, and it works out very, very well. So anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts on this if you have seen it down below in the comments. If you're new here, look, consider hitting subscribe. YouTube is sandboxing the channel at the moment, which is a bit balls, but hey, look, I'm going to continue. I'm going to just keep bringing you loads and loads of content like I have been. Smaller bite-sized videos, longer videos like this, and my normal in-person, facey sort of rants and stuff like that. And obviously all the live streams. So, if you're new here and that you like the sound of that, then hit subscribe. And if you're a returning subscriber, check you're subscribed, because YouTube does unsubscribe people. Now, I really like Korean cinema. I really, really do. So if you have a favorite in Korean cinema, leave it down below. Recommend some to me, recommend some to others. We are a forum here, so please do, make your comment count. Make someone else's day by leaving a really, really good suggestion down below. My other suggestion would be The Host. I believe it's called Host. It's a parasitic creature feature film. It's so good. Absolutely brilliant. Love that film. That's my next recommendation for you guys down below. And please do leave yours, because if there's any good Korean cinema, other than the ones I've reviewed and watched, hey, I want to know and I want to watch it. So let me know down below. Like I said, thank you all so much for watching. As always, I have been Mr. H. Take care.